Hi, I'm Henry Pyatt, Mayor Peduto's Small Business and Redevelopment Manager. I'm here with Ashley and Nick at Black Forge Coffee in Allentown, and we're here to talk about their experience in starting this brand new business, how they were able to avail themselves of some of the resources the city and our partners have to offer, and what they've learned and what they'd like to pass on to other small business owners. Thanks a lot for joining me today, Ashley and Nick. I really appreciate it. We're trying to make sure that everyone in every neighborhood realizes what's out there to help them out and how they can connect with those resources. And as part of that, we're going to have a little conversation today about what your journey was like so that hopefully somebody else can learn from it and find their success as well. And by the way, this place is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you very much.
So what made you guys decide that this was the right kind of business for you?
Well, I've been working in coffee shops for several years, and we've also been highly involved in the music industry for several years. So by combining both of our passions together, we were able to create Black Forge Coffee House.
How does the music component come into play here in the store?
Well, we're actually doing this interview on top of our stage. So when we have events, we take the tables off the stage, and then we have a lighting rig and a full-on PA system. So we can have any kind of performance. So we can do stand-up poetry, acoustic, to live bands with amps and drum sets.
Awesome. All ages stuff too, I imagine?
Yep.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah, we need a lot more all ages opportunities here in Pittsburgh.
Yes, sir.
What made you guys choose Allentown?
Well, Allentown, I actually used to live in this neighborhood back in 2009, and I used to go to the Art Institute, so I would walk through this Warrington every single day going to school, and be like, wow, it's really empty up here. It's unfortunate, because living in Southside was not feasible at the time, and being further away from school would be a lot harder. So when we were researching places to open up our business, we came across Allentown again. I was like, wow, okay. And we saw that RE360, one of the companies that own commercial space and residential space up here, put an ad out saying that there was rent abatement available and all the resources possible to be up here and start a small business.
It really is an amazing program that the Hilltop Alliance has been able to put together. And I'm thrilled to see the progress, because not only you guys, but we have Leon's around the corner that was helped out, and now we can have delicious Caribbean food here. We can have our social media campaigns planned out by a bunch of local residents. We can have coffee and a place to work and a place to show or be or appreciate our local culture right here on your stage. It is really amazing all the activity that program's been able to help kickstart. One thing I always wonder about is, how did you feel, what was it like to make the decision to be an independent business owner as opposed to working for someone else or being a part of a larger group?
We both have worked for other people, our entire adult careers. So it was just one of those things where you get frustrated with owners' choices and the way that they want to run things, and you're just like, man, if I just had an opportunity to do it the way that I see it should be done, I feel like it would work a lot better. And I mean, countless conversations with me and Ashley sitting on our front porch talking, we should do it this way, or it would be really cool if we did it that way. Now we have that opportunity to explore what options are available to us and how we can do things the way that we think is fair to everybody. For example, we spent a long time discussing how we were going to book bands. The last thing we want to do is have a high school band come in here with no money and then charge them to play the place. Yeah. So, we're trying to come up with the most fair way that we can showcase the talent in Pittsburgh without also gouging them and forcing them to pay us a lot of money to be here.
Was it scary?
To open it up on our own?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, incredibly scary.
What scared you the most, and how'd you...
The finances definitely is the scariest part of starting a small business. Going through this entire year and doing this process, we've been denied so many times by loans and banks, and it just really hit us hard a few times, but we were able to find the Heber Free Loan Association located in Squirrel Hill, who actually funded the rest of us the money that we needed to finish the plumbing and everything, because we were so close. Yeah. And they were able to do that, and that's why we're here.
That's awesome.
And on top of doing the Indiegogo that we did, we didn't really know how to approach it when we first started doing it. We were like, oh man, this is like a whole new thing. We didn't really know a whole lot about it. And then when we actually tried it, we were just like, wow, the support was unreal. Yeah. And most of the people that donated to our Indiegogo were people from the community and other business owners that saw potential in what we were trying to push for an artistic hub in this Allentown neighborhood.
Yeah, the crowdsourcing campaign and working with the organizations in Allentown and stuff like that was kind of what basically alerted us to the fact that we weren't in this on our own. You know,
Yeah.
like we were before, when it was really scary, taking out loans and being afraid, like, all right, if we fail, we're financially ruined. We did the social media campaign to raise money and talking with organizations, and they're like, everybody was willing to help out. Everybody was willing to pitch in and then put in their time and really, really help us succeed. And that was what kind of told us, like, okay, we can move forward with this. It's not just us. We're not just going to fall on our butts from this. Like, we have many people holding us up.
That's amazing. I really love to hear that whole like team vibe, because I think that that's what some of the most successful business districts trade upon, is not that they look at each other as a bunch of independent people who are out to steal each other's customers, but rather that they realize that as a team, they build up a place with a whole lot of options and a whole lot of choices that becomes attractive to a huge array of people, so that maybe folks that might not drink coffee so much or might not be interested in a pastry for dessert, but they are used to having dinner around the corner, might come walk by and see you, and vice versa. Somebody might come in here to get some work done, take a walk, and realize there's a great restaurant around the corner to have a date at, you know?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
And even outside of our neighborhood, you know, the coffee community in general has been really supportive. Every coffee shop that we've worked for, we have friends at, you know, they support us, they push us on social media, they donated a lot of our equipment to us.
Oh, wow.
People that we thought would be our direct competitors were our best supporters.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
and now we know that, you know, the coffee community is a lot larger than what people actually thought originally, and we have that support, and everyone's just like, oh, you know, even though you're not up here, you can go down to Southside and go to Delaney's, or if you're in the East End, you can obviously go to Zeke's.
One thing that can be really tough for a lot of people sometimes, especially folks that have such great community and support and knowledge of their field, is the financial and business planning aspect of things, and the regulatory environment as well, like making sure you have all the right permits and that the health inspector's not ticked off, and et cetera, et cetera. To that end, I wanted to ask you guys about the small business resource fairs. I remember seeing you, I think it was the first one we did with respect to the government, with respect to the regulatory environment in February. How did you guys hear about that event?
We heard about it through Sienna at the Hilltop Alliance. When we were getting everything ready here and still looking for an exact space and trying to figure out all the motions, she mentioned we should go to the resource fair. We're like, well, absolutely. We would love to go.
We were very much in the dark at the time for, like, I mean, when you're opening up a performance space in a coffee shop, there's a lot of regulations and you don't know who to talk to.
Yeah.
And she basically emailed us and was like, everybody you need to talk to will be in one room and you'll have an opportunity to sit down and talk with them.
Yeah.
So it was just like, all right, well, there's an opportunity to answer every question we have.
So how did it work?
It was fantastic. Yeah. We just, I mean, like, they were all very busy, you know, and like it was, you can tell that there was a lot of buzz going on because there was a lot of people attending it, which was also very helpful because if somebody was busy talking, you can talk to other business owners and other people that were potentially going to open a business, and you can communicate back and forth, like, oh, what are you struggling with? What are you working on? Oh, this is who I talked to, and this is how I dealt with it, you know, and like that was really beneficial. And the networking that came out of it, I mean, the information alone and the people being available to answer your questions, on top of, I mean, like that's how we met our baker, you know, like was going through these kind of things, you know, so.
Oh, that's really cool.
You get names, people give you names, and they're just like, you should talk to this person, or this person just opened up here, you know, like here's their card, email them, they'd be super happy to work with you.
Yeah, there were resources like the URA there, and we were able to talk to them, get their emails, and, you know, even though we didn't use them, it's still nice to have that contact. Same with the health department and knowing all those people. We got to talk to them like, oh, we don't know anything about these permits. What do we have to do? How do we know we're going to be safe with taxes? How do we do this? And there's like, here's a form, here's our card, call us.
Yeah.
And we're just like, okay, that's not so scary.
Yeah. Were you really happy with the customer service you received from some of the folks that were tabling?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when you're opening a small business, the government is a faceless entity that you just are terrified to tackle.
Yeah.
And then when you take down that wall and you're introducing, like, this specific person will handle that for you, contact them. It takes that barrier down and it takes away that fear.
It makes me really happy because I was sitting maybe a year and a half ago, I was sitting with a group of people, Emily from Kiva, which is the crowdsourced loan program that doesn't have any interest.
Yes.
And then Josette from the URA. And we were just kind of brainstorming about how do we help people in neighborhoods like Allentown realize that this whole cadre of support services is available to them, ready and waiting. And then it occurred to us, it's just not that complicated. We just need to get people face to face. Almost everybody is really, really cool and wants to get along and be helpful to each other.
Yeah.
You just have to introduce them.
Oh, yeah, very much so. I mean, I agree 100%. When we were first having the conversation on opening something of our own, it was, well, we got to do this on our own. We have to do this ourselves. And then you start to talk to people, and then you realize that the city of Pittsburgh is ready and willing to help open new businesses around the city. And as long as you reach out, they'll support you through the whole thing.
Really, really, really glad to hear that, because gosh darn it, that was the point. Well, one of my next questions was what distinguishes Pittsburgh from other places to open a business, but you've kind of hit it,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
The effort that they put into it.
This is such a progressive city. Like in every neighborhood, you see progress, and where it was when we moved here back in like 2008 to where it is now. You're just like, wow, Garfield is 100% different. Even though there's a lot of construction going on, there's new businesses opening. Same here. Living here in 2009, there was nothing here, and now you're seeing little spurts of just people who are trying to make Pittsburgh a bigger city, and for all the right reasons. It's still so affordable to live here. It's so affordable to open up a business. It's so affordable to make your passions a reality.
It's really awesome. I'm really glad to hear that you guys are here, because the space that a coffee shop and performance venue fills in our modern life is, to me, something akin to the place that a grocery store filled in a main street in 1950, right? It's an absolutely necessary thing to make sure that people have a reasonable quality of life. And while the mix of businesses has changed over the decades for what a neighborhood expects, wants, and needs, we're trying to be nimble enough to make sure that as those new patterns develop of the new types of businesses we need to have, we're all ears and ready to let everyone take their shot at filling what they see those holes to be. How do you support other businesses in your neighborhood?
MetaMesh, they're a local company that's ran out of the hardware store down the street, or Work Hard PGH now, and we contribute to their mesh network. So basically, any of our leftover bandwidth from our Wi-Fi gets contributed to that, and then they project that out over to the city to try to provide free internet for everybody.
Yeah.
It didn't cost us anything, and they were totally willing to come up and set it up. And all we do is just try to support them on social media and let everybody know that we do it.
Yeah.
Same with pretty much everyone at Work Hard PGH. There's podcasts right now. There's technology just flourishing in there. And those people, they need caffeine, so they come down here first thing in the morning. They get ready to go. They either hang out here just to get out of their workspace, just feel comfortable and do what they need to do, or they go back, get more coffee, come back. Same with Sweet Peaches. Like, we don't offer brunch or anything like that, but we're open here to get a cup of coffee. We can refer people down there because our food's amazing.
I eat there all the time.
Yeah, I mean, we go down at least twice a week. So.
And I love Beck and Drew. They're amazing people. So.
I agree. And Beck, actually, I'd like to point out, is a faithful servant of our Main Street Committee here on Warrington Avenue, helping figure out all the little problems and all the big events and group promotions that are going to help draw more attention to the whole cluster of businesses. And that's a really powerful volunteer position that people fill all over the city, and I'm incredibly grateful for. So what else do you think the city can do to help small businesses and entrepreneurs like yourself?
That's a tough question. I mean, you've done a lot for us. I mean, you guys are very open, so it's really easy to contact anybody that we need if we need a question answered. I mean, if you guys could put a form online and just give out business licenses, that'd be nice.
Well, I'm very proud to report that we're going to have, I'd say by sometime around next summer, you'll be able to apply for most of the permits that you'll need online with a credit card. And you'll get an email saying if we need additional information or if you have to come in for a meeting. And then by 2017, our goal is to have a computer program within a web page that asks you questions. So you don't even need to know what you're doing, you know what your vision is, and then it asks you questions that you'll be able to answer, and then it'll spit back to you a list of what to do in what order. And again, you type your name in once, you make an account, you put in your credit card information, and then the beginning of all the forms will be auto-filled so that you're just kind of filling in. You don't have to write your name over and over again, your address over and over again, and all that stuff.
But yeah, honestly, you guys have done an amazing job. You've made it possible for people like us to open up a business and have the resources that we need to be where we are.
We're just trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, I reach out to multiple people. I mean, any of my friends and family from outside of the state, I'm like, if you want to try something, this is the place to do it. I mean, like, they'll give you at least a couple years to try to work things out. Yeah, like, come in and, like, they will help you. So.
This wouldn't be possible where I'm from, originally from upstate New York.
Yeah.
Be lost in the system forever. But
Yeah.
here, it's a small community in a big city, and everyone is just pushing for everyone's success and just being a support.
So, what would you have to say to other aspiring entrepreneurs who are considering opening a business in the city with reference to the small business resource fairs?
Do your homework. Do your homework, sit down, write the business plan, contact the people that you need to because they will walk you through it. I did not go to school for business. I had no prior education on this. With the right people and the right contacts, they will talk you through everything and they will like show you how to do it. The URA classes that we took, I mean, it was page for page, or SBDC. Sorry.
I mean, it's amazing because that's what helps you communicate your idea to other people that you don't know yet.
Right.
And it also gives you that reference. There's multiple times where if you go in for an interview for a bank loan or for anybody else, you don't have all that information in your head 24/7. A lot of times you're a very sleepy human being if you're trying to open your own business.
Yeah.
So having that business plan in front of you to be like, oh, let me get that number for you, you can pull that out.
So if you were to start all over again right now, what would you change? What would you do differently about your entrepreneurial path?
And I wish I would have had a little bit more money saved up. It might have been the financial part of it might have been a little bit easier and a little bit less stressful. Other than that, I mean, honestly, I think we did it the best way that we could have.
I mean, it was actually a lot, I wouldn't say a lot easier, but we were just like, points where we felt completely deflated. But again, there was someone there to pick you back up. And honestly, yeah, there's nothing really that we would change because it taught us to grow, it taught us to keep pushing it, it taught us to keep rebuilding the business plan and aim for higher things in our life. And here we are.
If there was one thing that was really surprising, it was the fact that we never ran out of options. Every time that we thought that we were about to run out of options or this was it, we're just not going to be able to make it work, somebody from the Hilltop or somebody from Work Hard PGH or somebody down in the city was able to be like, well, you should contact so-and-so. Like, they might be able to help you out. Or, I mean, like, it's a long shot, but maybe if they can't help you, they'll know somebody that can.
Yeah.
And every single time it snowballed into something else that worked out for us.
That is awesome. I'm really glad to hear it. So, with that in mind, are there any other small business resources in the city that you would like other entrepreneurs to know about?
Definitely the classes, the SBDC classes.
Yeah.
They offer from starting your business plan to mentors to everything that you need. And even if you just go to the first class of building your business plan, that will spiral you into learning new things. Again, there's other options than big banks and stuff like that out there. There are local banks here in Pittsburgh that are willing to sit down with you, have a one-on-one conversation, treat you the way you should be treated, and help you. Even if they can't get you a loan, they're going to refer you to other places. Again, with the Hebrew Free Loan Association, we were referred from First Commonwealth Bank. They're like, why don't you try this? We did, and they welcomed us with open arms. We've never felt just so loved when we walked in there, and having that one-on-one communication with those people and sitting in front of them and telling them what our dreams were, they believed in us and they were able to help us.
Fantastic.
And neighborhood associations. Neighborhood associations. If you pick a neighborhood that you want to open up, talk to whoever is involved with that neighborhood because they'll work after hours for you. They'll bend over backwards and call every single person that they need to. And if you have a question, if they don't have an answer, they'll tell you about who does.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I'm so proud of our Main Street managers and similar people all around the city. Well, I guess we can't actually say Main Street managers. That's copyrighted, and we don't pay for the copyright. But all the business district managers all across the city. I mean, the way they tie things together, the way they serve as reference librarians to help people find the resources they need, the way they help introduce people to other businesses in the neighborhood so that they can have symbiotic supply relationships and maybe group purchasing and even really super cool things like MetaMesh that you referenced earlier. Mm-hmm. Without them, I just feel like this renaissance we're seeing on our commercial corridors wouldn't be achievable.
Oh, I agree.
And I really appreciate them. My last question, what's your long-term vision for your business? Where do you guys see yourselves in 10 or 20 years?
We honestly haven't thought that far ahead. We just want to be here in Allentown and keep our doors open and have people from all over the city come here and feel comfortable and just use the space.
If it's possible to expand on our brand, that would be ideal. We would love to spread out to another neighborhood in the city, or maybe try our hand in roasting coffee, or maybe getting into like brewing or distilling or something. Just being creative. Trying to create.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Our hearts will always be right here in Allentown.
Yeah, it's a lovely neighborhood. It really
is.
is. Well, Ashley and Nick, I want to thank you both very much for inviting me and the City Cable Channel crew to Black Forge Coffee today to talk about your experience and your ability to use the network of small business supports here in the city. And thanks a lot. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.